All right, Gerby, you ready to get started?
Sure.
Well, welcome everybody to our Unravel Travel series. Today we're going to talk about avoiding airport lines and how to skip through the process effortlessly. And if you guys have any tips you want to throw in the chat box, that would be great. Due to the number of people that we have for this, we have muted everyone in order to keep this going smoothly. And we're going to let Gerby start out here and introduce herself.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Gerby, and I am super excited about our Unravel Travel series. Suitcase Gals, as you guys know, has been around since 2021. And Leslie and I have worked really hard to bring this group to women who, doesn't matter if you're married, divorced, single, or widowed, it's an opportunity for everyone to get together and travel because you can't find a travel companion. So we can't make it any better than that. So I am excited to bring my wealth of travel knowledge to this group and to this brand of great women who want to travel together in smaller groups.
Thanks, Gerby. As we talked about on the last one, we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary here on April the 4th. So I want to thank you guys for all being part of the group, and please continue to share with your girlfriends, your friends, your sisters, so that we can increase the number of people that we have to travel with. You know, one of our biggest goals is to keep our tours in small groups and not big bus tours. But we do have to have enough members that we can fill these trips. So we look forward to seeing you guys on our next trip. And let's continue here with our airport issues. So there's a couple of ways that we can avoid lines at the airport. You've probably seen most of them. TSA, which is the pre-check. Global entry, which is a way to just move through the process faster, as well as clear, and then the mobile passports. These can be used in conjunction with each other. Some of them can be used, you know, in some airports, while you may have to choose something else at a different airport. So we're going to talk about all of those. Gerby already covered who we are. Like I said, we were founded in 2021, and our goal is to bring women together to travel and share like things. You know, women definitely travel differently than men, and we like to do things differently than men. So, you know, all of our travel is geared towards women. All right, Gerby. Uh-oh, hang on, you're muted.
Thank you. So today is all about being prepared. And really, you know, when we go into the airport, sometimes you look at the lines, whether they're security lines or coming back from a trip and you're going through customs and immigration and taking a big sigh because you look at the lines and you're like, oh my gosh, like they're so long. Or someone you saw on the plane that's whipping through the lines and wondering, how are they doing that? So some tips before we get into some of the things that we can do are really quick tips that you can use. Filling out the forms in advance. So especially when you're coming back from abroad, they will give you a immigration form, which I would like to let you know, if you have global entry, you will not have to complete in the plane. But once these forms are handed to you, fill them out. Have a pen ready. So whatever you keep below under your seat, have a pen in there so that when you do get these forms, you're ready to fill them out. Wear some comfy shoes so you can get out there and get in front of the immigration and customs lines, and you're already prepared with your passport and your immigration form in hand. I would, if you packed any food prior to boarding the plane and you didn't finish it, toss it out because they will ask you if you're bringing back any food, and that could cause an issue when you're going through customs and immigration. And your phone, put it away. As most of you know, there are signs all throughout customs and immigration that tell you to put your phones away, and no phones are allowed in that area.
So one of the things on here about throwing away food, I just want to mention, because I just came back from a cruise and we entered through San Juan. And in a lot of airports, particularly in the Caribbean, when you come in or out of the country, they actually have an agricultural scanning area. So when you get to the airport, you need to scan your bags before you can go check in or even check your bags. So by knowing that, you'll save a lot of time. I watched a lot of people going back and forth because they got all the way to the front of the baggage check lane and had to go back to the agricultural scan. You know, they want to make sure that we're not taking any insects with the fruit and veggies or any plants back to the US or even into those Caribbean countries. All right. When you get to the airports, they like to ask a lot of questions. And you need to be prepared for that, because you don't want to be that person who they think, well, maybe they don't really know who they are. And that'll flag you for future traveling. So, you know, what is the purpose of your trip? Usually it's either business or vacation. Know how long you're going to be there. And they may even ask you where you'll be staying. That way, you know, they're still doing contact tracing throughout different locations, and they want to know where you are in case, you know, there's another epidemic type thing, or if something happens. Things that you, they want to know if you have anything to declare. So that means any large gifts, any large monetary values, and things like that. And same with coming back. What did you purchase on their trip? They want to make sure that they're getting all the taxes that they're due. So if you make a large purchase, you know, say you're in Italy and you go to Murano Glass and they decide, you know, you owe taxes on that back in the US. You want to make sure you keep all your receipts and things like that. And again, any food items, there are some that are packaged for traveling. Most of the times you can buy those in the duty-free shops as opposed to buying them, you know, on a roadside stand and bringing those back into the country.
All right. So TSA, our first expediting through the security lines is what we wanted to talk about today. And you can decide once you hear about all the different options, what works best for you. But TSA, the security lines, and transitioning through those is actually a very smooth process. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the signs. If you look to the left of the screen there, you'll see the TSA pre-check sign there. That's where you would enter. It's actually amazing when it's busy and it's chaotic and it's high season. It's great to go through these lines smoothly. One of the things I say is TSA lines are growing, and they sometimes look as long as the other regular lines, but don't let that fray you from standing in that line, because you don't need to take off, you don't need to remove your shoes, your belts, light jackets, or any of that stuff. All of that, any laptops or toiletries, stay inside of your carry-on luggage. So that is that will get you through a little bit quicker. No shoes will come off. And then the process to get TSA pre-check, I would see if any of your credit cards have a benefit for you to be able to get TSA pre-check. Sometimes credit cards do have that benefit that you get free enrollment in TSA. So definitely check that out. And then otherwise, check the application process. It's pretty simple. And you could see from the right, remember, this is now, but it's $78 for 5 years. You will then be processed a known traveler number after your interview and so forth. And once you get that known traveler number, what you would do with that is input that into all of your flights. So whether you're flying American or JetBlue, that would have to be put into your profile for each of the airlines to be able to be approved for TSA. So even if you're approved, you still need to have this known traveler number in your flight profile. And the way that you'll be able to tell is once you check in, your boarding pass will actually say TSA pre-check. If it does not, once you're checked in at home, you're no longer able to reverse that. You would have to go to the desk the next day upon arrival at the airport, just let them know that you have TSA pre-check, and they'll go ahead and hopefully in many cases will take care of that for you. Sometimes they may not. So just make sure that you always have that in your profile. So that's TSA pre-check.
All right. Clear is another method of moving through the airports quickly. You're allowed to skip the lines by using your Clear membership. What they do is they take a picture of your eyes when you join, and then every time you go through that line, that's how you progress through the line. This is only available right now in the US, and there are about 50 airports, mostly in the major cities, that currently have Clear. I use it all the time, you know, especially traveling as much as I do, but I have found this to be one of the most useful things ever. It does cost $189 a year, but if you're traveling a lot, it's definitely well worth it. You can also add family members on there, up to 3 family members for $60. So, you know, $249 for, you know, a family of 4 is pretty good. Excuse me. This also works best with TSA pre-check, because when you do move through the line, they take you directly to the TSA pre-check line, which allows you to do all the things Gerby said. No shoes taken off or belts. You know, you keep your computers in your bags and they just scan everything. I definitely recommend this for those who are traveling a lot. You can sign up online for this, but you can also go to the airport and do it. And it takes about 5 minutes to do their screening process and get you through the line.
You know what I was going to say on that, Leslie? I've seen sometimes at the airport, they have actually given you sometimes a complimentary certain months to be able to do it, things of that sort. So it's something to look out for too at the airport. And because it's such a quick process, sometimes it's even better just to do it at the airport if you're not pressed for time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely TSA pre-check used to be the quick way through. But now the lines at TSA pre-check are generally pretty long as well. So this just gets you one more step ahead of everybody else at the airport.
Yep. Excellent. Okay, so mobile passport. So this is one of the free ways to actually expedite when you return to the US. And this is actually a free secure app on your phone. And when you're looking at it on an iPhone, it's the CBC MPC app. And I'm going to kind of go through how this works, but it may be a little different because they have renamed it in the process to CBC MPC, which is basically your Customs and Border Control, and then your mobile passport. But what happens is this is not available at every airport. It is available at some major airports, but again, not every airport. The easiest way to check that is just to Google to see if an airport that you're going to be connecting with. So if you were leaving, let's say, for instance, Spain, and your first connection back into the US was going to be Miami, you can check, that would be your first port of going through customs and immigration. So you can check if Miami, which at a few months ago did have mobile passport. That's the easiest way to see if an airport actually takes this. But you would download this app onto your phone before you even leave for your trip. Then at that point, you would complete all of your profile information onto the app. So everything that they're asking for, you would do. And then what you're going to do, it's also going to ask you for a picture. So you just stand anywhere where there's a white background and take a quick picture of yourself. You do not have to be all glamorous and so forth. It's just a quick picture. And if there are other family members traveling with you, everyone can be on the same app. So then what you do is once you connect in the US, so now let's say you're coming from Spain and you're landing in Miami. When you land in Miami, you then take your phone out and you're going to hit submit, and you're going to submit the details of your profile and all of your flight information that you have already inputted. You're now going to hit submit. And what that app will do, it will then provide you with a receipt with a QR code that you're going to now produce and be able to give to the officer. Now, how this will save you time in line, you want to look for signs, just like you see global entry signs. You will see a sign that says mobile passport or CBC MPC, and you will go ahead that way through those lines, and they will pretty much expedite you, so you're not waiting in the regular secure customs and immigration lines with everybody else, because you're already pre-qualified and cleared through all of the immigration process. I hope that makes a little sense. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's basically download the app at home, enter all the information. Once you hit US soil, you hit submit, and then you look for the signs that say mobile passport and follow those.
Okay. Lois Ann was just asking, do you need global entry to use the MPC?
No, you do not. This is all by itself. And the biggest, I think the con for this is that it's not at every airport. So that would be the biggest downfall to this.
Yeah, a lot of places now, you know, are getting into the electronic versions of a lot of things. So it really does help speed things up.
Right.
All right. So,
oh, we missed global entry.
Yeah, if anybody is interested in any of these, you can scan these QR codes here, and it'll take you right to those websites where you can start to register. I'll leave this up here for a few minutes and give everybody a chance to do that.
Yes, Jane, these slides will be available. They will also be uploaded to YouTube.
All right, I'm going to move back here a minute because we skipped right over global entry. So global entry, and Gerby mentioned it several times, is great for coming back into the country. It's called the Trusted Traveler Program. And it's basically clearance for coming back into the country without having to stand in the long lines. So there's no processing lines or paperwork. you just follow the signs to global entry. And when you apply for this, you just go right online and apply. It takes a couple of months before you actually get a response back from them because they're a little backlogged at this time. But they will send you an email saying whether you are approved for global entry or not. This also comes with TSA pre-check, so there's no need to do both of them. This will include your TSA pre-check number. Once you receive an email from global entry, the next time you fly, you'll go to whatever airport you're coming in, as long as they're on the list of airports. And they'll do like a 10-minute meeting with you and you'll answer questions for them. Just like, you know, you get sworn in, giving correct answers. And this will definitely expedite getting through the process. It's a very easy process to go through. It does take a little bit longer time for the interview at the airport, depending on if other people are waiting, but definitely well worth it. And I do know that American Express cards, and I don't remember which ones they are, they do offer $100 towards your global entry. So that's a really nice perk if you have the American Express card. Anything else with this, Gerby?
I was going to say, so if you're thinking between TSA pre-check and global entry for the $78 versus the $100, because global entry includes TSA pre-check, I would probably opt for global entry. And again, as Leslie said, there are major credit cards that have benefits for global entry as well. So definitely tap into your credit cards to see if this is something that would be a benefit for you to save the $100.
All right, so let's get back to where we were. So we have a couple more of our Unraveled Travel series coming up. April the 18th, we're going to talk about preparing your phone for travel, what you need to do as far as phone calls, your phone carrier, and how to get the most bang for your buck when you're using your cell phone abroad. May 23rd, we're going to talk about safety tips for women travelers. And on June the 20th, we're going to talk about St. Lucia and what sets her apart from the other Caribbean islands. And I will tell you, I had my first experience in St. Lucia last week, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. Does anyone have any other questions they want to put in the chat box? All right. Well, we definitely appreciate it if you follow and connect with us. If you scan the QR code on this particular screen here, this will give you all our social media apps. We hope that you'll follow us on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, and any other platforms that you may have. And our email, suitcasegals@gmail.com. And of course, you can always pick up the phone and call us at either of the numbers here. The first one is mine and the second one is Gervinder's. So with that, let's see if there's any last questions.
So I think Laura asked a good one. She was asking, like, with passport information, like mobile passport, let's say if somebody steals her phone, if they're able to get in. First off, if you have a passcode on your phone itself, they're not able to get in the phone. And then second, I would, for your apps themselves, maybe not have yourself signed in, that every time you log into that app that you have to sign in.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Yeah,
Mhm.
another one of the phone. And you know, with the phone, I would also make sure you always have Find My what is it? Find My Phone turned on.
Yeah,
Because you can go in there and lock your phone from a desktop if you ever lose your phone. So that no one can get into your items.
okay. So Diane is asking, should she print some stuff? Uh, I mean, you can carry printed copies of your documents with you, but I think they're safer in your phone. Number one, I always create a folder in my photos. And I put all my documents in there, but I also put in cover photos of my grandkids and throw a few photos here and there. So, you know, somebody's not going to immediately be drawn to that. The other thing you can do is you can scan in those documents and send them to yourself in an email. And then just put them in a folder that's, you know, marked French fries or something, so that it doesn't attract people to personal things in your email.
Great advice.
All right, any last questions before we finish up for today? Awesome. Well, I hope we gave you some good advice here and at least gave you some options for when you travel. We really appreciate you guys coming today. I'm having a hard time talking. But we look forward to seeing you next month for our Unravel Travel Series, and definitely keep an eye out for more of our local events. We'll be posting some and continuing to update as we go along here. So Gerby, thanks.
Thank
And,
you.
We will chat with everyone on April the 18th.
Yep. And we'll try to get this up by Friday for YouTube. It may be up earlier, but just take a look out on YouTube for the travel series from today.
Very good.
All right. Thank you.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.